Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is on this look and it's a full face of first impressions. Some of the products range from drugstore to high-end and they're all new to me. I haven't used any of them. The only thing that I've used so far is this lipstick. I've been reaching for it almost every other day, but everything else I have not yet tried. So this is how it came together. So if you want to see it, keep on watching. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to start with is this Joe Fresh Illuminating Primer, which looks quite pretty. And I find that most of the foundations I have are a more matte finish than dewy. So I'm just going to pump this out. Oh, and of course I have to pump it a few times. I'm just going to start with one squirt because I'm not sure how potent this is. But I do find that when I wear foundation, my face does seem a bit more flat. And it's one of those things that makes me laugh because my father will be like, you must be wearing foundation because your face looks flat. It doesn't look natural to him. Not that I wear foundation all that often, but I thought, you know what, I will try this illuminating primer and see if it makes a difference. Now, I'm not going to know under today's foundation because it is a first try or first impressions product, but I do seem glowy, so we'll see if that sticks. This product I'm going to use, you saw in last week's video, which is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. Now, the shade that I was originally matched to was Rose Ivory, which is their light cool shade, but because of the lighting, we aren't 100% sure this is going to work, but it's got a kind of, not a doe foot applicator, but a flat spatula, so I'm just gonna plop that on. I am scraping out some of the extra because a lot does come out. I'm just going to be using my Morphe G6 flat top foundation brush. Definitely think I'm going to need to put on a bit more. I don't think what I put on was quite enough. So far, in regular lighting, it doesn't look too bad for a color match. I know I've gone into MAC several times to get matched. I'm just going to add it to my brush now. I've gone into MAC a few times to get matched and I never leave with an actual good color, which is kind of frustrating, but apparently I'm not neutral enough, I'm not warm enough, I'm not cool enough, so that's what I thought was a really cool feature of this foundation, because they have the light, cool, and neutral for each shade. I thought maybe there's a chance that I could find my actual shade, and if not, I wouldn't mind mixing. Now, on camera, looking at myself, I look ghostly. In real life, I don't look as ghostly, so we're gonna see how this works out. The finish of it, I do quite like. It does blend quite nicely. It's supposed to be, if memory serves, a medium to full coverage. I'd say it's definitely a medium coverage. There is a little bit of my under eye color still showing through, but we all know that's potent on me, so I'm going to try their Mega Glow Makeup Stick Conceal as well, and this is in Follow Your Bisque. So I think this is probably not going to be the most ideal shade for me, but you know, we're going to try it. And I'm just going to, it does twist up, but obviously it's still, a lot of product is brand new. I'm just going to tap it under my eye and then just use my Oval Camouflage C224 brush. Well, it does go on quite nicely. I'm not having to pull and drag too much. I'm just going to add a little bit to my cupid's bow, my chin, and a little bit of my forehead. Even though it's not a highlight, but I'm a little bit red sometimes in the middle of my forehead. It's blending out nicely. I would be curious to see how it blends out with a beauty sponge, but with the brush, it's moving the product quite nicely. I am dabbing and pulling a little bit versus just like full sweep. But it is blending out quite nicely, and actually it's pretty much covering my darkness. There's still a little bit left, but that's what I'm used to. The color actually isn't so bad. On camera, It does seem a bit lighter than the rest of my face, as it does in real life, but not anything too stark, which is good. I'm surprised. I thought that was going to be a bit too dark for me. Winning! I'm going to use the contour stick, and this one is in 805 Call Me Maple, and I touched it ever so slightly to my hand to see if it was going to be a really awkward color for me. But I think with some blending it should be okay, but I'm going to go in very, very lightly, super lightly. So I'm going to dab it versus swiping it just in case it doesn't want to blend out. And then I'm just going to go in with my Zoeva Concealer Buffer and buff it out. Well, it does seem to be blending quite nicely. I always find my contour looks more muddy and not well blended on camera, but in real life it actually looks quite natural. Actually, that's actually not such a bad color for me. So that's encouraging. And then I'm just going to take whatever's left of my brush and just go a little bit around my nose. I'd say the face is coming together. For blush today, I'm going to be using a sample that I got from Sephora a very long time ago. And this is in number 5, Sweet on You. I'm just going to pop this open. I think this is a really cool idea to have a sample for a blush. Alright, so I'm just taking one of my BH Cosmetics blush brush. And it's potent! So I'm gonna blend that sucker out. Ooh! Wasn't expecting that, especially from like such a tiny sample. And as always, if you feel like you're looking a little clownish, you can always go back in with whatever brush or sponge you used for your foundation and just soften it up. Just gonna soften this side ever so slightly because I, wasn't quite expecting it to be as potent as it was. But it's a very nice color. I find that I gravitate a little bit more towards the peachy pinks and the peaches than straight up pinks. Even though I'm quite pale, I think with more of my freckles that I just find that tone a little more flattering on myself. I'm going to go in with the highlight, and this is, I'm not kidding, like the most exciting part for me because this is the Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. This is in Precious Petals, and this is the lighter of their 2 shades. Now they made this permanent. That was a limited edition product, but as I mentioned in my last video, they decided because it was so popular and in such high demand that they were going to make it permanent. So, woohoo! So that's super exciting. And I think the US price is like $3.99 for this, so in Canada it should probably only be $4 or $5. So that's super, super exciting. And I'm gonna see, when I swatched it at the event, it was so buttery and soft. But let's see how it looks on your face. Oh yes. Oh yes. Blinding. Oh, that's so exciting. If you want to hear more about the event and some of the pieces that I got from their collection, go hit up my last video. I will have it linked down below so you can go check that out. And again, if you want to see any first impressions or reviews or swatches of any of the products, please let me know and I will get that up for you. Like, I feel a little bit looking straight on that you see a little bit more of a bronzed color for it, but the highlight's totally worth it. But I am going to just ever so slightly tap it down with my foundation brush because I do, looking straight on, and even on this angle you can see there's a little bit more something than just my blush color. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that plays out. I'm going to go into my brows, and again, another Wet n Wild product. I don't have any other new brow products to try. So this is their Ultimate Brow Kit in Ash Brown, number 963. So I'm just going to go in with my spoolie. But can we just talk about how cute these tiny tweezers are? They're so little! But I guess it's a really good on-the-go kind of kit, and it does have a little brush as well. So I'm just going to start with the clear brow gel because most of the kits that I have are tinted colored gels. I'm just going to smooth down my brows, figure out which shape they want to take today. Some days my brows are all over the place, especially when you're trying to grow them out. And I have a scar in this eyebrow, which just makes life even more difficult and even more challenging. If you are in the Mississauga region, if you have any recommendations for somebody for brows, I never get my brows done, but I'm willing to venture out to have someone do them. potentially tint them as well, just to figure it out. I did have an opportunity recently, I'm so bummed, to potentially get my brows microbladed, which is like the cosmetic tattoo of eyebrows. And I didn't because I was working and I wasn't going to take a day off work to do that. But it's definitely been something that's crossed my mind. And I'm just going in with the medium shade first. And I just have a hard time filling them in because they're so sparse. And I've watched so many different videos trying to find the best technique, and I'm still playing around. We're still working on it. So the powder is quite soft and quite nice. A little bit of a difference in them. Moving on to the eyes. So I'm going to use a new Lancome palette today, and this one I got in one of their holiday kits. And again, I will see and show more of these holiday collections that I got in an upcoming video of presents I got from my mom, and also when I get some more of my gift cards spent, I want to do another little haul video. But this is the palette, and this one was called Chic Elegance, and it's their color design palette, Sensationals Effects Eyeshadow. Basically Paris Rose 2016 was the name of the collection, and the colors are so pretty and so reflective, so I'm really hoping that that translates. So I'm going to go with a really fat shader brush. I'm going to go in with this nude yellow color. It's a very light tone. It is a more, I'd say, matte to satin finish versus the other ones being shimmery or metallic. So I'm just going to use this and put it all over my lid to help set the foundation that I have on my eyes. I haven't even swatched this palette yet, and I have no idea what look I'm going to do. I'm just kind of sitting down and seeing what comes of it. I'm not going to lie, all I can see right now is my nose highlight. And it's blinding. I'm going to go in with the Precision Detail C431 brush. I'm pretty sure this is from either Royal & Langnickel or Crown brushes. I can't remember because there's nothing on it. So it's probably Crown brushes. So I'm actually going to go in with this neutral brown shade right there. And it's one of the only mattes in the palette. So I'm going to start with that and kind of work on the outer edge of my eye. So the outer V. And I'm just going to work on my outer V and bring it up into my crease. I'm just going to bring it in 2/3 of the way onto my lid so the inner corner is not touched in the crease. And then I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush, this one, which is the Shadow Crease S225. And I'm just going to soften up that line a little bit. The color is blending quite nicely. It was quite pigmented when I picked it up, but just touching the color in the pan, it does tend to go everywhere. I'm going to go in with the brush from the palette, so it's got a dense angled end and then a shader end. And I'm going to go in. With this shade, which is a more coppery shade. I'm quite liking the way that looks. So I'm going to just pack that onto my brush. Woo, that is quite pigmented. That came right onto the brush. Let's see if it translates to the eyes. It does. Oh, that's exciting. And I'm basically going to pack this on my entire lid, even on top of the outer corner, and we'll deepen that up. I'm going to just go in with that fluffy brush again and soften up the line up here. It seems to be blending quite nicely. I don't have any harsh lines. But there was a little bit of fallout for that second color. I'm going to go in with a more dense fluffy brush. This is the Luxe Soft Designer 227 from Zoeva. And I'm going to go in with the original shade that we used in the crease, and then I'm going to touch it ever so slightly into this shade right here, which has more of a duochrome kind of finish. There's a little bit of a blue-green reflect to that, and just a little bit darker. But I'm going to start with our first shade and buff that in. And with the deeper color, I'm only going to be going halfway into my lid, not as far as the first color in the crease. And then as often as you need to, just go back in and blend out the edges. And now I'm just going to go in with this shade right here, which is the most shimmery and light color. I'm just going to pop that on my inner tear duct. Now today for mascara, I'm going to be using two Lancome products. This one is the Cils Booster XL, which is a primer, and then this is the Lancome Définition mascara. I always have a hard time when I'm using eyelash primers because I find I can never quite cover all of the white with the mascara no matter what I do. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to put it on my top lashes for now. Then I'm just going to go in with the mascara, which is a very straight and small brush. Not sure how I feel about this mascara at the moment. It's definitely giving me length, but I'm not sure the formula is that great for me. My lashes are very, very straight, which is probably due to the primer, but they're not very separated. And then I'm going to just touch on my bottom lashes and see how it works for that. I'm just trying to flick apart some of the mascara, some of my lashes. Yeah, not sure this mascara is going to be a big winner for me, but it definitely, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see them, but they definitely make my lashes pop, but when I look at them, they just look weird, so we'll see. Is the final touch, which is the lips. So I'm going to be going in with one of the new Wet n Wild Perfect Pout gel lip liners, and this is in Think Flamingos. And then the lipstick I'm going in is an Estee Lauder lipstick, which is in, it's the Pure Color Envy 410 in Dynamic. It definitely doesn't drag, but my lips are a bit dry as it is wintertime, so I feel like when it's going over parts of my lips that are a little bit, have a little more texture to them because they are a little bit drier, it emphasizes it just a little bit, but I'm sure the lipstick will take care of that. So this is the shade. It's a very nice nude shade. I'm wearing it to work a lot. So that's the final look. I do have some opinions growing and forming based off some of the products that I've used today. But overall, I quite like this makeup look, even though it wasn't something that was planned. The copper shade is definitely going to be a hit. And the blending of them is pretty smooth. So if you would like a full review of any of the products I used today or any of the other new products that I have, please let me know. Hit me up on my social media, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, here, any of that stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya! These are the two other colors I got from the Mega Last Liquid Cat Suit. So this one is